As mentioned in the previous spoiler, after becoming a dominant figure on Misty Sand Island, Luo Feng decisively chose to leave and head to the main continent, where the danger level is thousands or even tens of thousands of times higher. It's worth mentioning that the main continent has a maximum diameter comparable to the entire solar system. One can imagine how colossal this super planet must have been before being bombarded by super powerful beings. Such a massive celestial body could only have been naturally formed within the universe's secret realms through the evolution of the universe. Even when struck by terrifying attacks at the universe's venerable level, these kinds of supermassive planets would merely shatter into countless continental fragments of various sizes, yet still retain structures sturdy enough to sustain battles at the immortal level. This is why they are considered ideal battlegrounds. In contrast, if Luo Feng and an immortal army lord-level being from an alien race were to battle on Earth, even a brief clash would be enough to reduce the entire planet to dust, and all life on Earth would be completely annihilated. Such a high-level war simply could not be sustained on Earth. Of course, the Earth of today is far from comparable to when it was first born during the universe's evolution. After being reforged and transformed by Sitting Mountain Guest, it now possesses the miraculous ability to self-reform and regenerate over the ages, even if it were completely destroyed, allowing it to once again nurture life. This nearly divine ability is one of the reasons humanity's top powerhouses are so in awe of Sitting Mountain Guest's mastery of crafting. Upon arriving at the main continent, Luo Feng immediately noticed a stark difference. The armies there are almost entirely led by Marquis-level Immortal, and their overall combat strength far surpasses that of the forces on Misty Sand Island. According to the intelligence he gathered, around 30% of the immortal beings on the main continent are Marquis-level Immortals. In contrast, on Misty Sand Island, simply having Marquis-level strength was enough to dominate a region, highlighting the vast difference in tier between the two. On the main continent, the danger level is so high that any legion without a Marquis-level leader can hardly survive. What's even more noteworthy is that even across the entire universe, someone like Luo Feng, who simultaneously possesses a general-grade armor, the 9 Calamities secret tome, and the power of Blood River, capable of boosting his base strength by 5 to 6 levels, is incredibly rare. Among powerhouses, due to limitations in base strength, battles between Marquis-level Immortals rarely result in death unless one side has a profound mastery of soul attacks. For example, if Hong were to master a soul attack secret technique, given that his willpower at the universe level already rivals that of a king immortal, then in theory, even as just a universe-level warrior, he could kill World Master-level opponents using will-based attacks. After all, willpower attacks are essentially a form of soul attack. In battles to the death between Marquis Immortal, if one party surpasses the other by 2 tiers in soul mastery and is highly skilled in soul attacks, they could achieve a kill even if both sides have similar levels of divine power. Otherwise, how could someone like Huyenbo, who barely reached the Marquis level, possess a Marquis Immortal as a soul servant? Unfortunately, Luo Feng is not proficient in soul attacks. He can only rely on overwhelming base strength power to destroy the soul imprint embedded in his opponent's cells, thereby annihilating their divine body and achieving a kill. This is one of the major challenges he faces on the main continent. Luo Feng spent over a month flying across the main continent aboard his spaceship, yet he never took the initiative to attack, not even when enemy forces were detected. This is because, while detectors can estimate an enemy's general power level by eavesdropping or sensing their aura, they cannot accurately assess the opponent's true peak combat strength. Luo Feng couldn't risk provoking every army he encountered just to test their strength, as that would be inefficient and a huge waste of time. In fact, on the extraterritorial battlefield, one doesn't always need direct confrontation to gauge the strength of enemies. In many cases, the grade of detection equipment alone reflects the owner's background and power. After all, high-end detectors are extremely expensive, and weaker beings often can't afford top-tier gear due to limited resources. Therefore, Luo Feng decisively disabled the shield mode on his standard King Immortal level detector and instead fully activated the detector he had seized from Giant Stone. This move had immediate results. Any enemy capable of detecting Luo Feng's position would now likely be on par with Giant Stone, posing a potential challenge. As expected, an elite immortal squad from the demon race soon discovered Luo Feng and began approaching his position. The squad was led by a peak Marquis level immortal. Even though they suspected Luo Feng might be the famed star-eating world master from Misty Sand Island, they showed no fear. On the contrary, they were full of confidence, believing victory was within their grasp. Little did they know, the one truly laying the trap was the very prey they thought they were hunting. After the alien immortals approached Luo Feng's spaceship, they immediately gathered their immortal divine power and launched an attack, triggering a sudden battle. The demon race's immortals, who had barely reached the marquee level, instantly unleashed their innate secret technique in an attempt to trap Luo Feng and then kill him in one decisive strike. In their view, even though Luo Feng was famous on Misty Sand Island, the fact that a mere world master level warrior dared to enter the main continent was sheer suicide and an opportunity for them to earn great rewards by eliminating a top genius of the enemy. However, what they didn't expect was that their innate secret technique not only failed to trap Luo Feng but was instantly escaped from due to Luo Feng's vastly superior speed. Within moments, he had vanished thousands of kilometers away. This outcome was thanks in part to the detailed analysis of that particular secret technique in the golden horned beast's inherited memory, and also to the vast real combat experience Luo Feng had accumulated through repeated battles against opponents arranged by the primal Chaos City leader. Luo Feng easily saw through the flaws in the technique and used his self-created pinnacle-level secret technique to severely wound the enemy, obliterating even the slightest fragment of their immortal divine body. That's right. Luo Feng's human body already possessed the power to annihilate the divine body of a lower-tier marquee immortal. While the soldier-grade armor only granted him a low-tier marquee-level strength, his mastery of the laws, the beast god artistic conception, and especially the enhancement of his self-created pinnacle-level secret technique have brought about a qualitative transformation in his overall combat strength, which barely allowing him to step into the ranks of King Immortals. To put this in perspective, even the King Illusion Spirit, who once set a challenge for Hong, managed in millions of years to create only a top-level secret techniques that was one level below Luo Feng's. That alone shows how incredibly difficult it is to create a pinnacle-level secret technique, and naturally, the power boost it provides is enormous. Seeing Luo Feng unleash a combat strength approaching King Immortal, the alien immortal at the peak marquee level immediately attacked. The immense devouring force he unleashed compressed space violently and directly acted upon Luo Feng's body. In response, Luo Feng immediately released the star-eating grass to block the devouring force. It's important to note, while the immortal grade 100-vine star-eating grass may not be highly effective in high-level combat, its sheer size, comparable to that of the sun, still grants it overwhelming physical presence. Against such a massive creature, the typically smaller-bodied demon race immortals couldn't even attempt to devour it, but they could only choose to confront it head-on. However, Luo Feng's movement was incredibly agile and eerily fast, making it difficult for his opponents to track him. Combined with his self-created sword technique, he controlled the entire battle and maintained absolute dominance. Seeing no hope of killing him, the demon race peak-tier marquee immortal had no choice but to report the situation, handing the mission over to the Alliance's adjudication and requesting stronger warriors to be sent to kill Luo Feng, hoping to gain credit for providing intelligence. At this moment, having completed his own cultivation test, Luo Feng decisively activated the standard detection shielding device used by King Immortal. Unnoticed by the alien immortals, the golden horned beast suddenly appeared and, with astonishing speed, launched a surprise attack on those enemies who had barely reached the marquee level, instantly slaying them with a single strike. The peak-tier marquee immortal who was fiercely battling Luo Feng, upon realizing that the beast's strength was at least at the top-tier King Immortal level, did not hesitate to flee in abandoning the fight. On the surface, Luo Feng appeared to retreat in panic, but secretly he controlled the golden horned beast with his powerful consciousness to launch a fierce pursuit. Remember, with his consciousness strength far surpassing peers of the same rank, even commanding all his clones simultaneously in battle did not diminish his own combat power. The golden horned beast burst forth with incredible speed, instantly catching up to the fleeing demon race peak-tier marquee immortal and launched a merciless attack. In just a few breaths, it depleted half of the enemy's immortal divine body. It should be noted that, empowered by the Sure Wu wings, the golden horned beast now possessed the strength of a peak-tier King Immortal and could suppress and slay peak-tier marquee immortal enemies in direct confrontation without burning divine power. Seeing no chance to escape, the demon race immortal chose to self-destruct in despair, intending to severely damage the golden horned beast by destroying both itself and the enemy. It must be understood that the divine body of a peak-tier marquee immortal is extremely sturdy and harbors immense divine power. Even with only half the divine body remaining, its self-destruction blast rivaled the strength of a peak-tier King Immortal's single strike. However, under the dual defenses of the Sure Wu wings and the silver general-grade armor, this heavily weakened impact could not shake the golden horned beast's resilient body, which was comparable to that of a peak-tier marquee immortal. It's worth mentioning that although the demon race's communication methods are far inferior to those of humans, which is unable to achieve synchronized image and real-time transmission, they can still record battle scenes and send them as messages. Although the transmission efficiency is thousands or even tens of thousands of times lower than that of the human virtual universe, these images and videos are eventually sent to the demon race's main army camp and analyzed by intelligence systems, enabling an accurate assessment of Luo Feng's true combat strength. Based on the power Luo Feng displayed, the senior commanders in the demon race's camp easily concluded that he must be one of the super geniuses among the 5 great factions. They immediately ordered a king immortal, who almost dominated the main continent and possessed instant teleportation, to hunt and eliminate him. It must be understood that a king immortal can teleport 1 or 2 light years in a single thought, and since the main continent's maximum diameter is only comparable to that of the solar system, any location on the main continent is instantly reachable for such a being. As for Luo Feng, although his combat strength barely matches a lower-tier king immortal, he is essentially only a world master. Killing him would be effortless. However, strangely, after that battle Luo Feng seemed to have completely vanished from the main continent without a trace. Not a single precise coordinate could be found. Even powerhouses with teleportation abilities could not make a move, let alone kill him. They never expected that Luo Feng was not hiding in the shadows but was disguised as a winged human peak-tier marquis immortal, wandering freely across the main continent. It should be known that the human race has many branches, some naturally born with wings. Luo Feng cleverly used the Shiwu wings and armor to disguise this pair of wings and, leveraging the special nature of the Shiwu wings, emitted the pressure befitting a marquis immortal. This made it naturally impossible for other powerful figures to connect him with his true identity as the star-eating world master. Having the identity of a marquis immortal and formidable strength seemed reasonable, avoiding special attention and capture. Instead, it allowed him the freedom to hone his swordsmanship and test the power of his secret techniques. Of course, when accumulating military merit, Luo Feng would still use his golden horned beast body. After all, in terms of kill efficiency, the golden horned beast far surpassed his human body. Within just a few years, nearly 20 alien immortals fell beneath its claws or sharp wings, including some peak-tier marquis immortals. Its terrifying power thus earned it the title of King's Silver Wing. Well, that's all for this video. Thanks for watching this video. Wish you a wonderful day.